This video is about how my Thai lace ruby red began his spawning process from beginning to the end. You'll be able to see everything, so stay tuned and grab a snack and beverage. It's gonna be a long one. If you're interested in getting some of my Thai lace rubies, juvies, hit me up at my email address displayed on the screen, or I have them in the description as well, or send me a comment. For most part of the year, I would have juveniles between 1.5 to 2 or 3 inches available for sale. So just reach out and I'll ship you out some. She's full of eggs. I've seen signs of spawning already. I just didn't see eggs come out of her tummy yet. Pretty soon. 2 pieces of slack over there. Slap. Just trying to entice her to go down there. They're probably nervous because I'm sitting right in front of the tank, spying on them. There they go. She's pretty much ready, even though there's a big size difference between the two of them. Another female tried joining on the action. I don't know if because she's jealous or what. I have no idea. She's still waiting. And the slab's ready. I see her egg tubes. Her egg tube is pretty much sticking out. But yeah, he's giving me lots and lots of babies, that's for sure. I don't know where she went. Probably her first time, so I don't know if she's ever passed eggs ever. See if I can capture a good angle here. So besides my super red Bristlenose pleco breeding project I got over there, in my 70-gallon tank next door, I don't have the light turned on because I don't want to disturb their breeding activity. So you can see my Thai lace ruby red. He's got everybody else stripping up in the upper left-hand corner of the tank. He does that as to preserve the privacy in his breeding cave over here, where a mature female is waiting. As you can see, her tummy is all full of eggs. Hope there's not too much glare so that you can see. She drove everyone else away so he could have the best privacy with her. Looks like she's fanning herself too. She's trying really hard. Her egg tube is sticking out, so she's trying really hard. Pass those eggs out any time now. I'm hoping I'll be able to capture the moment that the eggs come out and she takes them back in with her mouth. That'd be so cool. Quite some time ago, before my strawberry dragon blood died, I was able to capture some of his breeding activities, and I did catch the actual spawning when the eggs come out, and the female picks them back up in her mouth. This Thai lace, it's not really young. I've line bred him with his grandkids generation now, because for some reason when I bred him with the females that came from Thailand, I don't know if the breeder gave me the wrong females or just simply the fact that we don't have access to the kind of hormoned food over here, that the juveniles just didn't become as colorful as this original male. So it could be that he purposely gave me the wrong female. However, you gotta see, I ordered 3 females, and even the females came in with brown colors, even though they're supposed to be all black looking. So as you can tell that whatever they feed them over there, it's all full of hormones, for sure. Her egg tube is out, so at any moment she'll be able to squeeze them out, I guess. Squeeze them out, squeeze them out. So I just realized that by driving the other fish away, there's no chance for anybody else to steal the eggs that pop out of here. That'll ensure the best chance of survival for the eggs, because in the wild, in Lake Malawi, they always have predators around. Not only they have to deal with other fish, I've seen videos of Synodonta's catfish around, and what's sneaky about those catfish is that during the spawning process, they'll sneak in and somehow transfer some of their own catfish eggs and mix them up with these cichlid eggs, because they look quite similar, and the cichlid mother, without any trouble, just suck up all the eggs and then end up mouth brooding all the eggs in her mouth for like 2 weeks up to a month. In fact, helping raise the catfish's egg. And what's interesting is that the catfish eggs will actually hatch faster than the cichlid eggs. Much faster it has to be, because once the catfish hatches, they'll be seeking for food inside the cichlid's mouth, and guess what? They will end up consuming the cichlid egg. So by the time the cichlid mother spits out the fry, guess what? None of the fry will be actually her own. They will all be catfish. So for that reason, I would never go buy these Synodonta's catfish. I think that's just wrong. Oh, did you see that? She just picked up a batch of eggs. That's just wrong. Oh, did you see that? That is amazing. Let's see if I can zoom in some more. They're supposed to do their spawning dance, like circling around and around and around, so that these eggs can get fertilized. I wonder how long it takes before passes out all of her eggs. You can tell her tummy is still pretty bloated. Here comes a predator or an outsider who's trying to disturb peace, which happens to be another female who might be trying to get in on the action. You can't see because of the reflection on the glass, but I got everybody else squished to the left side of the tank. They're all chased over there by the tie lace. So here he's trying to lead his lady back again. Oh, there's somebody else trying to sabotage everything. He's keeping a close eye on it, on any intruders before coming back. Yeah, I tell you, this is like quite a process. That's why with all these difficulties, the spawning doesn't always turn out to be a success. Either due to either the parents' their own inexperience, their own nervousness, or some other external factor. So currently, he's already got a large female holding in the tank already. So if he gets two more ladies holding, that'll be like 3 holding in the same tank. That's amazing. Turn the lights off and just monitor them from the dark. That might be a better situation. So let me go do that. I'm gonna go turn off the lights and then see if I can get lucky. Man, I think he has. So I ended up just leaving the camera recording by itself for over an hour while I went upstairs to grab lunch, because this is really a test of my patience. I just couldn't sit there and hold the phone with my hand. I had to set it on the tripod to save my arm. Get her to come back in. Okay, she's back in the cave. I think she's ready to pass out some eggs at any moment now. Here's my lemon jig breeding tank in a 40-gallon breeder. I already got some eggs tumbling over there. They're about ready to be transferred out. Maybe another couple of days. I'm gonna crank up the air on that a little bit. In the meantime, our lady is back. They better hurry up before I give up. Come on, where are the eggs at? What? Now there's 2 females again. What the heck? No wonder they don't feel safe. There's no privacy. Come on, give it a break. I mean, the other intruder. Stop intruding. They're doing a good thing. One step for men, for humanity. the same female. I passed out a few eggs before. Oh, she just dropped one there, didn't she? Not an egg? Fish just have a real hard time syncing up. With each other. Oh. Oh. Just picked up a couple of more eggs. Come on, let's go. Keep going. That's what I'm talking about. Fish breeding. Spawning. Cichlid peacock spawning. Hurry up. We're all rooting for you. Cheers. Woohoo! Cheers! Come on! What she's doing is she's getting the eggs in her mouth fertilized. That's why they're supposed to do that spawning dance where they circle each other around and around and around, so fertilization takes place. Without that, even though she could have a whole bunch of eggs in her mouth, without them being fertilized, the eggs won't be fertile. They will not turn into fry. And often, if that's the case, she would give up holding the eggs after a few days to a week, realizing that those eggs aren't gonna hatch. You're still having a hard time driving everyone away. But the girl is ready though. So size-wise, they're not 100% compatible, but that's part of the difficulty, you know. There it goes. That was a good load. There it goes. That was a good load. That was like at least 5 to 7 eggs. So far I counted, it's more than 10 already. She passed out the eggs about 3 times. It's over 10. I'm guessing from my experience, I've seen this size female. I mean, she just reached her maturity, so naturally she's not gonna hold that many eggs. But I won't be surprised if she spits out anywhere between 30-some to 40-some maximum. I don't think it's gonna be more than 40-some fish. Yeah, as you can tell, her tummy's not that big. So far, more than a dozen came out already. She probably has another half in her tummy, so probably gonna be, I'm guessing it's probably gonna be between 30 to 40, 40 maximum. So we shall see. Just dimming the fish room lights is actually helping them keep calm, actually. Even though I'm not able to get the sharpest image because I can't shine any lights at them. But they should be setting the moves for them, that's for sure. I'm sure if I just leave and go grab lunch or something, go grab dinner, or let them be, sleep overnight, there'll be eggs that come out. Here you see that she'll pass out another egg and sucks it back in. While I'm editing, I'm realizing that the whole footage is actually more than 2 hours long, almost 2.5 hours. And I'm trying to edit out all the inactive parts to condense it. Oh, that's another lot. Oh, that's another lot. Nice load. Every time it seems like it's 5 or 7 that comes out. Not bad, not bad. She's on her way. She's on her way of becoming a mother. Those eggs aren't fertilized until they do the spawning dance. Don't be like your mother don't dance and your father don't rock and roll. Come on, you gotta dance. Let's go now. And now I got I know you got more in you. And wouldn't you know it, as soon as I walked away, she squeezed out another big batch of eggs. There had to be at least 10 of them. Maybe just 5. I should just let this run and walk away. I just noticed also that without me sitting in front of the tank over there, she's started chasing these females much more aggressively. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Getting too hungry now. And here you can see that she just squeezed out some more eggs on the ground floor. And it's unfortunately outside of the video frame that you can't exactly see the eggs. And it's good that they continue things upstairs again as she gave out another couple of eggs. On the second look, there's at least a few there. At this point, her mouth has got to be pretty full. Most of the eggs that were in her stomach has been passed out and then put in her mouth. And it's quite a delicate act because unless the eggs were fertilized right away by the male as they came out of the female's stomach, suppose they didn't get fertilized and then she just ends up holding them in her mouth. At one point, they still have to, dance around in circles. I would hope that she will open up her mouth every once in a while so whatever's not fertilized inside her mouth can get a chance to get fertilized. So, yeah, it's quite a difficult act. That's why sometimes on the first attempt, females don't end up getting the eggs fertilized properly. It's not entirely the female's fault. It takes an experienced male to get the job done as well. So they'll continue with their spawning dance for another quite a while. So let me speed up things so you don't get bored. And just like that, every time I sped up the video, she proceeded to squeeze out some more eggs without him being there. So those eggs that she just gave out are not fertilized until he goes back there to fertilize them inside her mouth. And sometimes the female loses her focus and swim away for a while to do who knows what before she recollect her thoughts and then come back to the breeding ground again. Good thing I built this thing with 3 levels so they can choose to do it wherever they like. Upstairs, downstairs, anywhere. So they're just gonna repeat themselves over and over until they're finally done with it. So while I'm editing this, I just saw that both females are in the video. One is breeding with him downstairs, and then the other one is in the second floor, also appearing to pass eggs. I don't know if that's the one that actually bred with him earlier in the video, and the one downstairs is that the new one, which we haven't seen, or what. I mean, these females, they all have the same color, so it's not like they got names written on their jersey or something. I don't know if he actually bred with them, like, back to back or at the same time or what. This is very interesting. I say that because at the end of the process, after I had my dinner, I went downstairs, stopped the video, turned on the lights, and I realized that all 3 females in this tank did, in fact, start to hold eggs. So while I was away, he did, in fact, get both of these females on the video to pass eggs and get them to hold. So now I got a total of 3 females holding eggs, assuming each of them is holding 30 to 40 eggs. I mean, conservatively, let's just say, since they're young females, let's just say that they're holding 30 eggs each. That's like 90 to 100 eggs altogether. So, yeah, if you're interested in getting some of these ruby reds from me, I got some of them that's growing up to almost an inch size, so within another couple of weeks to a month, they'll be available. I start shipping them at a minimum of an inch and a half size, usually between an inch and a half to 2 inch. Once they get larger than 2 inch, they become harder to ship. The maximum size fish that I prefer to ship are gonna be like 3 inches, because when they get too much bigger than that, their fins gets too sharp. They would tend to slash the plastic bags open. The type of bags that I use is 3 mil thickness. So when the fish get too big, you end up having to buy much bigger bags and then pump more oxygen in the bags. Use thicker bags, the whole thing just becomes more expensive, and then it's much more risky. Suppose, the large fish that you spend a year to raise, spend all that food and time to grow them up till be like 4 or 5 inches in size, and then you ship over to the customer, and instead on arrival, it's that's a bit of a heartbreaking scenario there. So I try to avoid doing that. Yeah, here's another bunch. The shaking of the fins action is very important to try to help the eggs get fertilized. And here's another big batch. And I'm noticing that these batches are coming out much more frequently and more smoothly now. It's much easier to see in the second level on top of that slate there. It's a perfect surface, so they don't end up losing the eggs like into the sand or something. And I thought she was done. I can't count how many times she squeezed out eggs already. Had to be at least 5 times by now. And in retrospect, I should have started at some kind of counter or something. It just seems like it doesn't stop. She has endless amount of eggs coming out. There's another 5 to 7 or 8. Just can't count them. So if it's like 8 every time, and she does that, 5 or 6 times, that's like 50 eggs already. It's amazing. Now she's gonna lose some, most likely inside her mouth, without all of them being fully fertilized. On the worst case scenario, some of them develop fungus, although not likely inside her mouth. A lot of times, if we end up pulling the eggs out too early and put them in a tumbler, they're susceptible to them getting contaminated by things in the water, or by dirty handling of things in your hand or the equipment that you use, and they might develop fungus. So hopefully not in this case. In my experience, I like to have the females hold for up to 2 weeks. So by the time I strip them, the fry will be like halfway hatched. You'll have, there'll be their head and their tails, eyes and everything are healthy. And then what is left to do is for me to put them in a tumbler and tumble them for another few days or so, like maximum 1 more week. By that time, the fry will be like 3 weeks old already. They'll be like 75%, 80% developed, even though they're not fully free swimming yet. Still quite a bit amount of egg sac attached to the fry, at that time, they're ready to be able to get dumped into a 10-gallon tank, and they'll be all right just laying there for another few days, without any other larger fish in the tank. With good water flow and everything, it'll keep the fry from developing fungus. And at that time, even though they're not free swimming, they're fully able to like wiggle around, get around on a sand bed or something, or even a bare bottom aquarium. That's fine because they're fully able to move themselves. It's not like they're gonna stay in the same spot or get crushed by other sand or other larger pieces of rocks or something. And just within a few days, egg sac will diminish and then they'll become free swimming. So yeah, after a full 3 weeks, 3.5 week time, they'll become fully free swimming for sure. At this point, about another 15-20 minutes has elapsed on the video, and I don't see her giving out any other eggs. I gotta imagine that she's about done. Although she doesn't have any more eggs to squeeze out, like I mentioned earlier, it is important for them to circle around and around so that the eggs inside her mouth can get a chance to get fertilized. When I turn the lights back on, you'll be able to see the rest of the fish that's been pressed up on the left side, which you couldn't see. Guys, I got 3 OBs holding now. I mean, 3 ruby red females holding now. I'm really sorry about this dirty glass. I gotta put a couple of more bristlenose plecos back in to take care of the algae situation. Filter intake. So hit me up if you want some before I sell out. And another one hiding behind the plants. There she is with a mouthful. So 1, 2, and 3. Where did we go? Oh, yeah. So we're gonna have a lot of ruby red babies, that's for sure.